All right, guys. Um, what I'm wanting to do today is make a video showing you guys my gaming space. And I've been wanting to do this for a while now, but one of the main reasons why is that I want to do a video that basically communicates how 75 inches is the new 55. So real quick, I'm going to take you guys on a tour of my little gaming space here, and which is basically, this is not a fancy man cave of any kind or anything. This is basically my living room slash dining room, and I've got the kitchen behind me here, but I'm not going to be showing that off because I've got to change out my cabinets. That's a whole entire expensive project that I've got going on. Not to mention the windows and that sliding glass door is going to be going also, and I want to put some hardwood floors here. I've got my little girl here trying to get my attention. She's mad at me because I wouldn't give her any cheese or crackers. But real quick, just to get our little tour started here, what I've got here is my desk. Right next to it, I've got my tripod, actually, which is what I use when I make the majority of my videos. I haven't actually put this thing to use. I've got basically my dog's treats, a couple of cookbooks, and actually Michio Kaku's here, The Future of the Mind by Michio Kaku, who's a futurist. Haven't read most of it. I think I got a few pages into the first chapter, so it's basically there to make people think I'm a lot smarter than I really am. I've got some notes that I like to write about different things, and then of course my stack of Game Informer magazines. May or may not be the best video game magazine in the world, but I get it with my membership to GameStop. I buy a lot of used games, especially on Black Friday, so it benefits me. I know everybody says GameStop is evil, whatever. It's a boutique video game store, so they care a lot more about video games than that guy working at Blockbuster. Um, Eventually, I'm going to get a gaming PC. That's a topic for another video, but just to show you guys what I'm working with here, and then of course I might want to connect it to the television. I'm not sure if that's going to be too far away from where the seat would go, which is right here, but that's a topic for another day. All right, so coming across over here, we've got, actually let me get back over here. We've got the dining room table, a bunch of wires, little liquor cabinet right here, Moscow Mule glasses, wine bottles, wine glasses. I've got this little chair that is broken, but we flipped it over and it makes a little hiding place for my dog. My beanbag chair, this place used to have a settee, but it wasn't very comfortable. We got rid of it. I'm kind of happy. This is a whole lot more comfortable. And then our little couch, which is great. Sometimes I fall asleep here, not just when I get in trouble, just every once in a while I just fall asleep watching YouTube videos or movies or playing video games or whatever. Love this opium table. Got this as a present for my girlfriend for Christmas. We finally got it in March. You can see right there the little stairs that my dog pretends not to be able to use unless there's food on the table, and then she runs up the stairs so she can have some. We've been cutting back on that. That's why she's getting a little upset. I can't give her cheese as much as I used to be. All right, so getting to that right there, in case anybody's wondering, that's a space cooler. Okay, and we've got vaulted ceiling here. We're actually at the top floor of our apartment complex. It's actually a condo. But we've got we're on the top floor, so it gets kind of hot, and it's a little much for our AC to handle. So we need a little help in case you guys are wondering what that weird contraption was. Here though is, and I know I've shown this off before, but again, just to give you guys a frame of reference as to why 75 is the new 55. We've got our entertainment system. Now, as wide as this is across, that's how wide my 55-inch television was. Okay, so that's important to know because I want you to see how much further that screen jots out on both sides, and that's how much further or how much wider this screen is. Here you go. Than a 55-inch television. So that's a pretty good frame of reference here. I've got Spider-Man playing here. This is the 4K trailer for Spider-Man on PS4, and it looks amazing. And, I'm going to go ahead and sit down here. You can see where this beanbag is. So, consequently, I'll show you guys. Right about where this pillow is and where my eyeballs would rest right here, or would land, is about 7 feet. Now when I get on this bean bag, I'll sit down here, we're talking about 8 feet maybe, at the very most. But still a very cinematic view. Encompasses most of my vision here. And so when I'm Spider-Manning around on my PS4 Pro, you can see it over there, watching it on the Sony 75-inch 900E, I'm going to feel like Spider-Man. I'm going to feel like I'm actually soaring through the buildings in New York, hopefully. I can't imagine this game is going to be anything but phenomenal. My favorite and only Spider-Man game I've ever played was on the PS2. Spider-Man for the PlayStation 2 was Spider-Man 2, basically. And I loved it. And I thought, I can't wait for them to come out with a Spider-Man on the PlayStation 3, because as good as this game is, imagine another generation, it'll be just like the movie. Well, I never got a PS3 or an Xbox 360. And when the PlayStation 4 came out, no Spider-Man game. This will be the first Spider-Man game. Well, I'm lying. There was another Spider-Man game that came out, but it didn't seem like it was worth playing, so I never picked that up. So just keeping myself honest. But almost 5 years into it, I think September 7th they announced this morning the next Spider-Man game was coming out. And so I'm more than stoked, more than happy, and I'm going to be ready. I'm going to be playing that bad boy on the PlayStation 4 Pro. The best looking version possible on one of the best looking displays you can get right now. You can actually pick up and I mentioned this before, I'm sure, but you can actually pick up the 75-inch 900E at Best Buy, I think, for $2,500. So for $2,500, which is almost $1,000 less than what I paid for it, you can get one of the most amazing gaming televisions in 4K. Anyways, but one of the things I really wanted to mention, and I've made this video several times already, and each time I forget to mention this, is there's a reason why 55 inches became so popular. And it's not just because it gives you the best bang for your buck, because price is arbitrary. And you guys will have to, I'm actually holding this camera phone, so you'll have to excuse the juddering. But the reason why it was so popular, I used to sell televisions. I sold televisions at Best Buy. I sold electronics at Radio Shack, and I sold electronics at Fry's Electronics. So the reason why 55 became so dominant was it offered the best value for image quality to size. And of course, at 55 inches, it was, compared to a much larger display, eventually it became much easier to manufacture, I guess. But really, it's the scale of economy that drives the price a lot of times. So having said that, these things televisions are mainly made up of plastic. That is by far the biggest component, or the biggest material. You've got metal in there, and then of course are your electronics and your chips, your microprocessors. But your microprocessor is going to be the same no matter what size you get. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, an LED light, and these wires, they cost pennies on the dollar to manufacture. And by that I mean it doesn't really take that much money to manufacture these components. So a lot of it is just it's a market value. It's what the market will bear. So that's the main reason. It's not the price, but the size versus image quality. So with 4K, in order to really reliably see the difference, and truly appreciate this difference, for the most part, you have to make the jump between 55 to 75. I'm sorry to say it. I know there is a difference between a 55-inch 4K and a 55-inch 1080p. I realize that. But get the true benefit to say, man, I really upgraded. You want to go 75. And there may be cases. I actually lived one time in a bedroom. I had roommates, and I had my rig. They had the TV in there in the living room, and I had my television, which is a 55 inch, and my PlayStation 4. And I had it in the bedroom, and I thought to myself, I'd like to upgrade. At the time, I was thinking maybe a 60 inch television, and I couldn't. It wouldn't have fit just because of the way the doors were laid out, the closet, and then the door swinging in from the hallway. It really truncated that space. Excuse me, that space of wall. Okay, I'm back. So that really truncated that space of wall in the bedroom between the doors. And so there are some legitimate reasons why you can't actually get a bigger television, 55 or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, most of us are going to be gaming in our living rooms, or we're going to be in rooms that you can actually fit a larger television, in which case, look at 75-inch format. That's really where it's at as far as 4K, as far as the detail, the increase in detail, and the increase in immersion. Because that's what I'm getting. I'm getting simultaneously, I'm getting over twice as much detail, which also means you have to get a good television. You want good screen uniformity. So I'm getting over twice as much detail. I'm getting like 85% more screen area. So I'm getting an increased detail per square inch. I'm getting more DPI, okay, more dots per square inch, over twice as many, and I'm also getting almost twice the area. So I'm getting more detail and overall area immersion all at once. So it's a 1-2 punch. The only thing is you want to make sure that you get a quality panel. You don't want to have to deal with screen uniformity issues that you're going to with a cheap panel. And also, the amount of detail that you're going to get from your image greatly depends on the image processor. And you know this, and I've told the story before as far as my 55-inch 6400 versus a cheap LG for the 55-inch that I ended up getting. But even if I look at a Z9D or a 940 with the X1 processor and compared to the 900E, I can see that there's more actual detail in the image, especially when you're looking at things like cityscapes, where you're going to have the individual windows you can look at and detail in the shadows and whatnot. You're going to see much more detail with a better processor than you will with one that's not so good. So you'll, like, let's say with the 900F, there's a lot of you guys that say that you want to wait to get the 900F. I believe that that television on Black Friday is going to be priced right around $2,500. The 900E was priced at around $2,800. It's $2,500 now, but it was priced around $2,800 on Black Friday. So the 900F was introduced at $500 cheaper at It was introduced at $4,000 versus the $4,500 that the 900E was for the 75-inch. So I believe that by Black Friday, that television will be $2,500. $2,500 for the 900F, a 900 basically series that has the X1 Extreme processor, is very much worth it. If it'll fit in your gaming or viewing space, get it. You want it. You want a 75-inch television. All right, guys. I think I pretty much beat that horse to death. So let me know what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. There's a couple of more videos I want to make. I'm not sure if I'm going to get them to both of them today, but I want to do one on virtual reality. I had one of my viewers ask me about, or tell me that I should do a video about virtual reality and what I thought of it. I don't know anything about virtual reality, but sometimes those are the funnest videos to make because you get to make predictions and you get to give your very passionate, uninformed opinion. So I can't wait to do that. Hopefully it'll be some fun. And I also want to do a video, hopefully today, about